I can't blame Andy for the regret I feel for having watched this trilogy.
Yes, you can.
You can blame Andy, but I don't think
blame
he deserves
me.
it. He didn't make these.
I'm just taking the piss.
It was a suggestion, all right? Look, let's be honest. The movie
jumped on it. We agreed
Right.
to it.
It was a suggestion from hell.
I honestly thought I'm gonna like these more than I think I will,
Right.
and I did not.
And
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show.
No, yeah, look, they don't hold up. And if it's your first time watching them now, you know, when they came out, it was like they were their own thing. Minus the last one, because that was pretty recent.
Yeah, I was about to say the last one is rather contemporary.
Well, it's like what's
3 years ago. It came out the
Yeah.
year before the fucking pandemic. Like, that to me is like mind blowing. Mark
Right,
and I recorded an episode yesterday and we were talking about that. And it's like, it was like 03, 05, 2019. Like, fucking, like
I know. 'cause
almost
I had
2
to stream it.
decades.
I had to stream it on Vudu to watch it. So I know we were stuck at home for sure.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children should not be watching this film, these films, but they might watch Rob Zombie's newest film because it is rated PG. On this episode of the Kulturecast, we're going to be talking about, because Mark Begley's here from Wake Up Heavy, and so normally when Mark's here, we talk about 3 movies, and this episode is no different. We're joined by our good friend, recording artist Andy Gnosis. On his suggestion, we're going to be talking about 3 movies that Mark and I think we this is an audio medium, folks, but Mark is making some sort of gestures on his end. What's funny is, I think I speak for the both of us here, Mark. We've known each other for almost 2 years now. These movies never came up in conversation, ever, of the things that you and I have thought about watching together. These movies, and I don't think these movies ever would have come up, frankly. Do you?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
not.
I mean, yeah, probably not. I know I wouldn't have suggested them, but
There's a shot at me again.
That's not a shot at you. That's the good. That's the
key.
That's the good thing about these movies. Frankly, is you were like, "Hey, we could watch these," and I was like, I've never seen them, so let's take this opportunity to do it. And like Mark said, he did agree. This was consensual.
I did agree.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about Rob Zombie's Firefly Trilogy, otherwise known as House of 1,000 Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, and 3 from Hell.
Howdy, folks. You like blood, violence, freaks of nature?
On a stormy Halloween night, 4 young people set out across the back roads of America
What's that? It's a hitchhiker.
What, should we stop?
We can't leave her right here in the rain.
in search of a mysterious figure known only as
Dr. Satan. You know anything about the legend of Dr. Satan?
Yeah, I can show you.
Dr. Satan! Ah, Dr. Satan!
what they uncovered
You ain't seen nothing yet.
is the most horrifying and shocking tale of carnage ever seen.
Well, I bet you'd stick your head in the fire if I told you could see hell.
You seen this girl?
Yeah, they want to play Nancy Drew with this local legend that people call Dr. Satan.
Stupid kids probably got themselves lost.
Let's get out of this nut house. The boogeyman is real. And you found him. It's showtime!
Please don't kill us.
From director Rob Zombie comes a journey into hell.
This can't be real, this can't be real, this can't be real.
House of 1,000 Corpses.
Hope you like what you see!
So let's you know what, before we talk about it, I do want to ask Andy, because again, this does kind of come from you as a suggestion. What do you like about this trilogy? What do you like about Rob Zombie as a filmmaker? And what was kind of your thinking behind suggesting these 3 movies?
Right. I can be completely honest and not trying to sound funny in saying I don't know why I like them. And I don't know if I even like Rob Zombie as a director, to be completely honest. I think my interest was piqued when the first one came out, and I went to go see it in theaters, but I was too young. My parents weren't really paying attention as to what film I had picked.
How old were you when this came out? Because I was 13.
Oh no, I was really? Then I guess I was probably like
03. I mean, at 13, we should be watching this movie at 13.
Yeah, I don't know. I was.
I mean, I guess
12.
it doesn't. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. If you feel like your kids can handle this movie at 13,
yeah, I was probably
more
like
power
12,
to you.
12 or 11, and but it was the very beginning, non-spoiler, but that opening sequence before the title comes on, and my mother instantly was like, "Yeah, no, we're not watching this." So they pulled us out and asked the usher if we could watch Phone Booth, because that was out at the time. And
a Colin Farrell movie?
Yeah.
I kind of like that movie.
Yeah. Oh no, I got into it, but I was like, wait a minute, because she was like, "Oh, it's too violent. So can you put them in Phone Booth with Colin Farrell?" And my parents went back to watch Thousand Corpses. So I was the whole time watching Phone Booth thinking, it's about a guy with a sniper.
Yeah,
and you don't want me to watch Thousand Corpses. I think it was just the grisly nature of Thousand Corpses. It freaked my mom out.
Grisly nature, he says.
Well, at the time, I mean, come on, 2000. It was
still fucking grisly now, man. Like,
yeah, I'm saying, but it was filmed in like '99, I think.
Yeah. It feels it.
Yeah, and so that's where I was very desperate to finally see it. I had to watch it online. And, Devil's Rejects came out, and that one I felt was a better film, although still over the top. And the last one I only watched for nostalgic purposes, but I will admit it's the weakest one of the three. So I'm not in any way here to defend the films, but I will say I enjoy them more than you guys did.
You have to defend them. That's your job here today, is to defend them.
I don't want to.
Ask me how old I was in 2003.
How old were you in 2003, Mr. Begley?
I was 34 years old in 2003.
So you're like the age you're close to the age that I am now. Because I'm 32. So, okay. But you didn't see these, right?
And I still think of 2003 as 5 years ago. So
yeah, I do too.
Kind of feels like
that
5
kind of
years
freaks
ago.
me out.
One year from now, it will be 20 years ago. So
shit.
Yeah. No, I haven't. I probably wasn't even aware of the first two films when they came out. Vaguely, maybe aware. At that time, I don't think my wife and I were going. We weren't married yet, but we were together then. I don't think we were going to movies all that much anyway, just because of schedules and work and stuff. And it was a rare, like, weekend occasion. So I didn't see a lot of movies that came out in those years.
I mean, wouldn't your wife have loved to go to this movie on a date? Don't you just love Devil's Rejects, honey?
I can't. I know that I probably saw a trailer or something and thought, "Oh, Rob Zombie made a movie. Good for him." And then that was it. And because I wasn't into his music or anything at the time. And then when the next one came out, I probably thought, "Oh, that's interesting." The first one did well enough that they made a second one, and then probably didn't think about them again until I started watching horror movies more regularly, which was about 2012, 2013. And I know that I have started the first two on a couple of different occasions and gotten, I think with this one, with House of 1,000 Corpses, I think I've gotten to when they get to the Firefly house and stopped it. And in the second one, I think I've gotten to the end of the shootout and stopped it a couple different times. So
you've
this
gotten
was my
within
first,
like the first 30 on the first one and the first 10 minutes in the second.
Yeah. So this was first time all the way through for all three of them. I almost watched 3 from Hell when it came out because it went straight to Shudder, and I had watched 31 when it came out and went straight to Shudder, because I've seen all of his non-Firefly films. I've seen the Halloween movies. I've seen Lords of Salem. And so I watched 31 when it came out. And then I considered watching 3 from Hell. And I thought, well, shit, then I have to go watch the other 2. And I think that's one of the times that I started and stopped the other 2 and thought, that's okay. I'm good.
So I had never seen any of these Rob Zombie movies, but I do like Rob Zombie as an artist. Hellbilly Deluxe is a pretty damn good CD. Not even a pretty damn good CD. It's a really good CD. There's a reason it's like quadruple platinum or some fucking insanity. Look, if you've heard Rob Zombie's music, the likelihood is, unless it was White Zombie, it's been from Hellbilly Deluxe. Dragula, Living Dead Girl. I mean,
Super
those
Beast.
those 3 songs. I mean, those are the original singles. You've got fucking Tommy Lee playing drums on some of the songs. The CD is named after one of my favorite actual albums, which is Hillbilly Deluxe, the Dwight Yoakam album. Shout out to Dusty California, crazy ass country. But I like Rob Zombie as an artist. I like White Zombie a lot as well. But then we come to his movies, and I think I like the things that he's aping more than what he is doing in that genre. And I say that as someone who actually find this rather shocking, Mr. Begley. I actually kind of enjoyed The Devil's Rejects and 3 from Hell, only because I kind of really am enamored with Bill Moseley's performance in both movies.
Okay.
His Otis Driftwood thing, like the first movie, I honestly, I find House of a Thousand Corpses to be kind of a piece of shit as a movie. But I think that's the intention, is to just make like
over the top,
like
obnoxious.
the most disgusting thing humanly possible that could get released with an R rating. And I think Rob Zombie essentially made that with House of a Thousand Corpses. But Devil's Rejects and 3 from Hell, like what Bill Moseley is doing in those movies is I believe he's that character.
Yeah.
It's that convincing. And as someone who has like a true crime podcast and having spent my fair share of time, as I'm sure we might all have, reading about serial killers and sociopaths, for me, the closest that I've come to like thinking about the kinds of movies that these are, like Lars von Trier's The House That Jack Built. It's that same level of like, we're just going to leave the camera on an actor who's acting like a fucking sociopath because that's their job. And that is uncomfortable, but that's the intent. And I almost can't fault Rob Zombie for succeeding at doing what he wanted to do, which is taking the camera and sticking it in your face and saying, don't fucking look away. And like you said, Andrew, I'm not going to defend these movies, but I'm also not going to sit here and say like, well, they're pieces of shit completely. Like, I mean, they made me feel very uncomfortable. They definitely creeped me out, and they definitely made me feel grossed out. But
dirty. You want to take a bath.
Right. But I think I'm not even thinking. I know that's the point.
That's the point.
I know the movies that he's influenced by. And one of them is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And every time I've watched that movie, which is infrequently, I don't go out and watch that movie all the time.
Right.
I feel like I need to take a bath afterwards. So could I call these movies a failure? No, but they're not my kind of movies. But I think they're Rob Zombie's kind of movie. I would say so. But let's talk about House of a Thousand Corpses. So it came out in 2003. It's directed and written, like all of these are, by Mr. Rob Zombie. If you guys don't know this, Zombie is not his real last name.
What?
It's Cummings.
It's Cummings, yeah.
Cummings.
Rob Cummings.
Yeah. No relation to Alan. And it stars a bunch. That's fair. It stars a bunch of people, but the characters that you're going to want to focus on are Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding, Bill Moseley as Otis, and Rob, let's just get it out of the way. Rob Zombie's wife, Sheri Moon Zombie, as Baby. And then there's some other people in there, like Chris Hardwick, who is a human piece of garbage. And,
Karen Black.
Yeah, Karen Black.
Black.
Very young Walton Goggins.
Michael J. Pollard.
Very young Rainn Wilson. Pre-Office Rainn Wilson. Yep. Who else? I guess for the notable people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those faces, like Sid Haig's partner at the store. Excuse me. Kind of big guy.
Oh, Erwin Keyes. Yeah.
See him in a ton of movies.
Oh, Matthew McGrory.
Yeah. 80s and 90s.
Yep.
Well, the big guy too.
Yeah. Matthew McGrory. Yes.
They're both kind of big. It looks like they both have pituitary issues, but, and then Michael J. Pollard. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Michael J.
I kind of that sort of rubbed me the wrong way having
Rest
him
in peace.
There. Yes.
Who? Matthew McGrory?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like stunt casting to me, and
pretty young.
It is stunt casting, and it is a little exploitative.
Well, they're exploitation films, you know.
Right. I was gonna say it smacks very much of Todd Browning's,
and Rob Zombie himself being raised as a carny. His parents were carnies, so this type of stuff is not beyond what he would be doing anyways.
Clearly
exploiting little people, very tall people, fat people.
it just feels like the guy's in pain, having to walk.
Sure.
Well,
oh yeah. Well,
I don't know. I'm old.
I mean, at least he's getting paid. At least he's getting paid good money.
No, I'm not saying the guy he got forced to do this against his will or anything.
Right. I understand where you're coming from.
It's interesting. I appreciate your comments on this, Chris, because it does lend. I don't like to say, this movie's not for me. I kind of hate it because every movie is for everybody. Yes, you may not be the target audience, but everybody should be able to watch a movie and get something out of it. And you might not get something out of it. And because you're not the target audience, and I'm kind of double talking here, but that sense of the griminess, like you mentioned with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I feel the same way about that film too. It feels like oil is dripping off whatever screen you happen to be watching it on. So it has that. I just don't think it has any of the deeper things that come out of like Tobe Hooper's movies, like Texas Chainsaw or Eaten Alive, which I think this harkens back to a lot. Or even the Funhouse, which isn't as grimy, but is still exploitation-y and at a carnival or at a fair, basically. It just feels like he's got all the grime on there, nails that, but there's nothing underneath it. Or I can't get past the grime, I guess, to find out what's underneath.
So it's a lot of style and no substance, is your kind of...
And that first one has a lot of stylistic choices that don't necessarily all work, but all the inserts, the cutting away, the negative, but that kept me a little bit more engaged in what was happening. Like it was kind of breaking up the story enough for me to have a little rest and go, okay, I can, take a break from the grime and the disgusting stuff, and not particularly my style, but it was interesting that he was at least playing around with stuff. And I think that this is House of a Thousand Corpses is the one that I enjoyed sitting through the most.
Well, it's the most. Well, that's the thing. So, Mark, your podcast is a horror movie podcast, right? Wake Up Heavy. This is the only horror movie of the three,
right? Yes, that's a good point.
It's literally the only horror movie, and actually the only horror movie. The other ones are horrifying, but
They're crime films.
Yeah, they're crime movies. They're like true crime. All the worst toolbox murder, true crime shit you've ever wanted to not know about made into a movie is what those two movies are. This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is, I think, the closest anyone has ever come to remaking that movie without actually putting Leatherface in. Like, this is a real big love letter to Tobe Hooper and exploitation and Grindhouse. Like, while I'm not a fan of this movie, because I think this movie is ponderous at times and just Rob Zombie loves his wife. I get it, dude. Like, I love my wife too. If I were making movies, I might put my wife in them.
I was going to say the same thing.
But like, I wouldn't have her be the lead because my wife is not an actress and Rob Zombie, neither is yours.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you try, no matter how easy of lines you give her to deliver, no matter how really, really good looking she is, because she's an attractive woman, she's not a good actress. And she actively drags down everybody else because she's not a good actress. Bill Moseley and Sid Haig have to overcompensate for how bad she is. And in the third movie, they almost just have Bill Moseley come out and say, oh, she's just getting wackier and wackier. Almost felt like he was saying, oh yeah, she's just getting more fucking bullshit character. Like, she's just becoming more and more bullshit. And it's like, yeah, we know. But I
think she's fine in the first one because she's playing it at a lower level for most of the time.
Initially, yeah.
And, after that, it's just everybody's just screaming at each other throughout nearly 2 hours,
How
But
about
in the
those
first
Rob
one,
Zombie movies? Everyone's just screaming at each other.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But in the first one, I was like, oh, she's not half bad in this. And from what I read, take this for what it's worth, because it was probably on IMDb or Wikipedia, she didn't really have any interest in being an actress. And I mean, why
figure?
Why make your wife do that?
Well, he makes her parade around on stage for him too.
Yeah.
I'm sure he probably wrote obviously he wrote the part for her, and she probably didn't want it.
Living Dead Girl is about her, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's
he's obsessed with his wife.
No, I will say, as she's not that great of an actress or even a good actress, but I buy it in Thousand Corpses because the character is supposed to be surreal. It's not a real person, because the movie doesn't feel like this is really happening.
Right. No, it doesn't.
And I think that's what Rob Zombie lacked is he said himself while making this film, he wanted it to feel like a roller coaster that you couldn't get off of. And I never really got that sense of dread, like I'm never going to escape this place. It just feels so surreal that it's a fantasy horror film, and it feels like one because the characters are just cartoons. I mean, Bill Moseley is an albino in the first one,
right? Yeah,
and is healed of that, cured of that
magically.
Yeah,
you don't magically get cured of albino. Oh yeah, he has like red eyes.
I never even caught on to that
albinism. Yeah.
But it kind of slips almost into supernatural at the end too, which I found kind of bizarre.
Dr. Satan. And then they undo it in the next movie, even though in The Devil's Rejects there was gonna be a Dr. Satan scene that they deleted because they were like, oh, maybe he doesn't jibe with this real world fuckery that we're trying to do now.
Yeah, because it's a grisly crime film, and he was like, trying to find many ways to make the makeup look more realistic, and it just still wasn't working. And it's like, you built that universe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
now you're trying to undo it? Like, what?
Yeah.
Because for me, what would have been more interesting is continuing the tone of this movie into the second and third movies.
Okay.
Like,
I agree. For me, at least, it would.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been awesome.
Right, because like The Devil's Rejects, when we talk about it, we'll talk about it, but it is a 180 from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
To the point, like we're talking about the Dr. Satan character who doesn't make any sense outside of this movie. He would literally be completely out of place. In the third movie, maybe. Towards the end of the third movie, it kind of starts verging on like idiotic, weird.
It's got a machete ending,
Yeah.
There's a sword fight.
Yeah, it becomes kind of goofy and dumb again.
Yeah.
But it only works in this movie, and then in the second movie is like deathly serious, and this movie is just stupid. And again, this movie's not my cup of tea, but for the people whose cup of tea it is, it's 110% exactly what they want.
Yeah, it's like I Drink Your Blood, you know.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
psychedelic horror.
Yeah, Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes. I mean, it's Jesus Christ. In this movie, is this the one with Michael Berryman, or is it the next one?
No, that's
the next one.
Yeah.
Ken Foray and Michael Berryman. Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, like, yeah, but that's kind of all this same area of the world. Yeah. I mean, even the setup, right? You have 4 teenagers who are true crime writers, maybe?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. True crime. And
they're
also
writing a book.
Yeah.
Weird places. What do you call it? Like notorious,
like attractions.
Yeah.
And so they go see Captain Spaulding, and Captain Spaulding is a bad guy, unbeknownst to them, and sends
unbeknownst to us.
Yeah, unbeknownst to us until the end. And
really?
sends. I mean,
it's at the beginning. He shoots someone. You know.
Yeah, but those people, they're robbing his store.
True.
I mean, hey,
with guns. So
yeah,
I think he's in the right there.
Yeah, but Captain Spaulding is a bad guy, and he's the patriarch of the Firefly family, and he sends him to his family, and all hell breaks loose. And like we've mentioned, Bill Moseley is there, Sheri Moon Zombie is there, though she's Sheri Moon at this point, not Sheri Moon Zombie. And yeah, then there's Dr. Satan and a big burned guy as well. Yeah. The original patriarch of the Firefly family, I guess, maybe.
Oh, the other guy, yes.
Yeah,
in the crawl space,
right.
Or whatever.
There's Tiny, the burned guy, and then Earl, the guy who burned everybody.
Him.
Yeah.
I made it a goal to pick out some positives, and I think I only managed to do that in this one. But I really like the Fiji mermaid creature that they turned Rainn Wilson into. That fucking is creepy as hell. Yeah. Really well done. I've seen that image separately before, and I don't always remember what it's from. So I was like, oh, this is what it's from. I love that thing.
Yeah, every time I've seen it with friends, that's always the part that gets a gasp out of someone. Even if they're not enjoying the film, they're like, fuck, what did he do to him? You know?
And then I liked that tunnel of skulls that led to that lair of Dr. Satan's.
The door, that area before they go into his lab is amazing set design.
It's like catacombs.
Yeah.
Great. And I'm like, where was the rest of this throughout the film?
Right.
Because that's the actual House of 1,000 Corpses. It's not the house that they're led to. It's the one underground.
Right.
So why?
Honestly, that's my thing with all of these movies. The third one, the worst, but this one I think also is pretty bad. They don't get going with the plot until like fucking 40 minutes in. And this movie, it's like, I would have preferred to have seen more of the stuff underground. Why did you wait until the last 20 minutes of the movie?
I think it's because he got more money to refilm the ending of the movie. He and I don't know what the original ending was, but I just read this today. He didn't really have an ending. They shot something. Universal said, we like it except for the ending. And he got more money from them to do a different ending. I believe that's why that set is so impressive.
And then they dropped them film.
Right. And then so
Lionsgate had to pick it up.
Apparently Rob Zombie said to MGM that MGM had no morals, which is why they would take a meeting with him. And they didn't like that. So
they didn't see it as a joke, which is
what it was.
It was a joke. I mean, come on.
Yeah, come on, guys. And I read the same thing, Mark, about the ending, but it feels like a shame because I would have rather have just seen whatever the original ending was and it just have been lackluster as opposed to seeing like, oh, this is what happens when you actually are given a fucking budget.
Yeah.
And then he goes and does Devil's Rejects, which again, we'll get to it when we get to it, but like the parts of this movie that I liked, I would have liked to have seen more of whatever the hell that was.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I agree.
Everything underground was much more entertaining than the cheap facsimile of Leatherface that they had. I mean, because again, Otis Driftwood is kind of Leatherface-esque. He's more, I don't know, he's playing Chop Top. I don't know what he's playing. He's playing a sociopath. I mean,
it's an amalgamation, it's
like Charles Manson meets Chop Top. And
Ed Gein.
Because even there's a scene where he's like reciting this monologue to one of the tied up cheerleaders or whatever, and I listened to the audio commentary, and Rob Zombie himself said that it doesn't mean anything. He's just saying shit.
It's Manson family gobbledygook.
Yeah. Do you feel blame? Do you feel wolf kebab, car ramage, gitcha? Yeah, it's that level of like, fuck it. I mean, it's a cuckoo bananas shit. Yeah. But again, that's why I was saying the thing early on in this episode. It's like, if this is what he was going for, which I would be led to believe that this is, he succeeded. Like, Rob
nailed
Zombie knocked it out of the park, baby.
I wouldn't even say he nailed it. He fucked it.
Yeah, he really...
I think he fell into it because he doesn't like this film. He says it's a mess, and so I think he kind of fell ass backwards into it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's prouder of Devil's Rejects than he is of this, but... Yeah. That's the thing about this movie is it's weird because you do have this kind of setup, and then you have the kids going to the house, and then you have this like what seems like scenes at the house that take forever to go anywhere, and then they try to leave, and then they're brought back, and then they're essentially 3/4 of them are murdered off of screen, and then the movie then starts to get going.
Yeah.
And I noticed that in Three from Hell is the worst offender of that. We'll talk about when we get to it, but Devil's Rejects is the same way. It takes like 30 to 40 minutes for the movie to actually start.
Yeah.
A lot of scenes in every one of them, especially the second two, because like you and I talked about yesterday, Chris, they're way too long.
Oh my God.
But I think for me, the problem becomes we're going to protract these scenes because the longer they go, the more tension it creates. I think is the thinking behind it.
At least in 2 and 3, yeah. This one, there's none of that.
I'm taking a stab here, but I that's what I felt when I was watching it. Like, why are these scenes so long? And I think it's to build tension, but it just, for me, it just makes me frustrated. It's like you don't need length of time to build tension in a scene.
Right. Because it worked in one scene. I think, like you said, it was to build tension, and it only works when there's an intimidation in the scene. So, like, Captain Spaulding is a pretty intimidating guy, and when he kind of corners Rainn Wilson, and that tension is building, and he's acting like he's offended about, the book that they're writing, and that you guys think we're just country fuckers and all this shit, and the music is building, and then finally he just says gotcha, he was just kidding. Mm-hmm. It worked there. I don't recall any other scenes that did that, and maybe those are probably the ones you're talking about, that it didn't work.
I mean, he tried. So that's the funny thing. Rob Zombie in each of these movies has like a set piece of his own design and creation. So in this movie, it's the scene where the cops show up at the house, and it
my favorite scene.
I think it works here, and he tries to redo that again in 2 and in 3. I think this is the one where it works, but to Mark's point, you have this insanity fucking crane shot pulling back and back and back and back and back and back of Otis fucking gun to Walton Goggins' head, and then he kills him. Like, Rob Zombie, you could do that half as long, dude. Like, it's just, we know what's going to happen. This is not building of tension. Like the thing you're talking about, Andrew, totally building of tension. That was just like, you're just lingering to linger because you want to make everybody uncomfortable.
It's artistic and pushing the limits, literally.
It's being very edgy, and I don't consider it edgy.
Yeah, prior to that shot, I do like the music that plays and everything's kind of in slow motion. The mother Firefly shooting the cop after flirting with him, and just these two guys were fucked, right? But yeah, that part does linger too long. That scene is the only scene I really like in that movie. That and when Baby is chasing the girl in the bunny suit. I think that death was actually kind of brutal. The just repeated stabbing of the chest, which they kind of try to redo in the third one.
Sure do, don't they?
Yeah, and then it's got like a funny. We'll get to that.
Funny
that scene with Sid Haig and Rainn Wilson that you mentioned. That's the perfect encapsulation of what I was talking about. Like because you don't know where this is going. It feels like in everything else, you know what the outcome is going to be. So why is it taking so long to get there?
Mm-hmm.
But the kind of opposite of that for me is when the cops do show up, there wasn't enough tension. Like it felt to me like they got shot like right away. Like there should have been a little bit more cat and mouse maybe with the two cops and the dad of the one girl, Saving Private Ryan man.
Yeah. I was about to say fucking Matt Damon and Harris Young.
Oh,
face mask number 1.
Yeah, because he does like as soon as she shoots him in the neck, he just dies instantly. It would have been.
It just seemed like bam, that happened so fast.
It would have been great to have like had a shot of him falling to the ground, like very like between her legs shot of him like crawling away before she finishes him off, in slow motion type of thing.
Or even have them go through the house and discover a bunch of shit and be really freaked out and then get killed.
Right, because it makes the mother feel like a dangerous presence as well as not just her like kind of sucker punching him, with a gun. Because they're all supposed to be maniacal killers.
Right. So again, it's weird between 1 and 2, obviously. They're in like are they just like in the outskirts of like a normal town?
Yeah, how are they living up there?
I don't know. I don't understand. There's a lot of questions that are never answered, but Rob Zombie is the one asking the questions. Because like for me, I don't understand. In the first movie, they're just like this unknown band of people living in this house in the middle of nowhere, but people in the town know who the fuck Captain Spaulding is. And these killers don't just go and massacre the town. Why? It's again, Rob Zombie wants to be so grounded in reality in the second movie, and it's so hard to juxtapose that against his first movie. So his first movie is like a live action cartoon.
Right. Maybe it's supposed to be like, the psycho next door that you never knew, like the BTK killer.
Right. There's no way you could tell that those people are insane looking at their house.
If there's so many of them, maybe they're just seen as like white trash and nobody pays attention to them and, just avoid. They're drunk all the time. I don't know. They're probably Baby's probably seen as the town tramp and no one talks to her. Because in the second one, they make it very clear that Mother Firefly is a nymphomaniac. All of a sudden.
It's true.
And I guess people in the town know who they are. I guess they just don't know that they're killers, especially since everything is underground. But they're not the first people to be questioned about the cheerleaders.
Right. I just mentioned all this because Harris Young just shows up with the cops there. And it's like, I didn't think that they were that close to this like dude's normal house.
Yeah.
But okay. So again, Rob Zombie makes some choices in this movie that are distinct.
Mm-hmm. I do like that we know, but the attempt to like you guys said, just because Captain Spaulding shot someone at the beginning, it still doesn't mean we don't know if is he crazy, because he was just defending his gas station. So when he has tension with Rainn Wilson, we can't be like, he's fucking with him because he's a killer, but we don't know he's a killer yet. And sends him off, and it builds that question of, is he even a part of it, or is he just a crazy guy on the outskirts that works at a gas station? That's why at the end, when it's confirmed Bill Moseley's in the back seat, okay. And then we don't realize, though, that they're related until the second one.
Are they related?
Yeah, well, he's Baby's dad.
He's Baby's dad.
Right, but Otis isn't related to any of them.
No. Yeah, I think having not seen that, but knowing about the movies and always seen pictures of those three together, I was a little confused. I'm like, wait, is he part of the family, or is he just a helper? Because I know he's involved in this somehow, because he's a major part of the second one. And I didn't realize how little of a part he had in 3 from Hell, but and I was like, oh, okay. So I knew, I mean, I figured, okay, he's picking this last survivor up. He's just going to drive her right back to the house. I actually would have preferred that instead of Otis popping up out of the back seat. Him actually driving her back to the house.
Right.
To me, again, that's that creates a little more tension. Like, have her see them pulling up to the house and go like, what in the fuck are you doing?
Right.
No, this is not where I want to go, blah, 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 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that backseat jump scare is a little cheesy. I
think that's the easy way out.
Yeah. It's like, and then she just wakes up. Did he stab her? Because then she wakes up in Dr. Satan's lair. So I guess he didn't stab her.
No, he just turned her over to Dr. Satan.
Because he jumps out and then he lifts the knife and then it flashes away to Dr. Satan. And I'm like, oh, so he didn't stab her, or I guess he just hit her with the back of the knife. I don't know. Knocked her out as if she wasn't already.
If you think about it, Sid Haig is the least used of all three in all 3 movies.
And he's great, though.
Right, I know. And that's the problem.
Unfortunately, he was supposed to have a much bigger part in the third one, but he was, dying slowly.
Yeah, he does not look good in the third one.
No, we get to it when we get to it, but there are things about the third one that are problematic. Him being in it at all is one of them.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yeah. I think, though, overall, if we're talking like the successes of these 3 movies, I can see, Mark, and I would probably be inclined to agree sitting here and thinking about it, this would probably be the one I would watch again. This isn't the one I like the most, but this might be the one that I would watch again just based solely on the fact that it's only 89 minutes.
That's a big bonus for me. This is definitely the one that I would, if backed into a corner, I would watch again.
You gotta watch one, motherfucker. Which one is it gonna be?
It does have those elements that you mentioned, Chris, where it does closely resemble a horror movie versus the other 2 for sure.
Is that a child
and I like
shirt?
No, they're pajamas. Sorry, guys, I'm showing
pajamas.
My girlfriend got them for me.
I don't like any of the characters, the teenage quote unquote characters, but I like that storyline of kids going where they're not supposed to and coming to a horrible end. And it's done better in a lot of other movies, but that aspect of it is a plus for me as well, as the Fiji Merman and the Tunnel of Skulls.
And who would have ever thought Rainn Wilson would have been turned into a Fiji Merman?
The other thing that I was surprised about was that this is supposed to take place in 1977. Oh, lost Andrew.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look or feel like that's when it's taking place. The thing that tipped me off before I looked it up and realized, oh, this is supposed to take place in the past, was the shot of a news reporter. And I'm like, why does that news reporter look like he's from the 70s?
Right. Do they open the movie with that?
I don't remember when that came in.
They opened the second and third movie with news.
Yeah,
reporters.
but I was like, what? Because I just, Chris Hardwick has kind of longish hair, but other than that, I was like, I'm really surprised that this is supposed to take place in 1977. I'm not getting that feeling from any, like the set dressing, the costumes.
None of it.
None of it is making me feel that this takes place in 1977.
Also, I think that's because Chris Hardwick neither Chris Hardwick nor Rainn Wilson look like believable 70s teenagers.
No.
It looks like a '90s film.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought until I saw that newscaster and then looked and saw, oh, this is supposed to take place the day before Halloween, 1977. And I was like, what? Okay.
I think it would have.
Why?
I think it would have made more sense if just follow me here. This movie, follow me if you would. This movie should have been set in 99 or 2003, whatever. And Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell should have just been prequel movies. And then you explain away all the fucking problems of, well, tonally it's weird, and Bill fucking Moseley is an albino and isn't an albino. And it also solves the issue of the movie not feeling like it's set in the 70s, but attempting to do things that movies from the 70s did. And I think that's why some of the stuff in this movie that's not successful isn't successful, because it doesn't feel like a movie set in the 70s as much as The Devil's Rejects does. Three from Hell doesn't feel like it feels like it's also set in the 2000s, frankly. But this movie should have been set in the 2000s, like
or early 90s even. I would have bought that whole cloth. I mean, I wouldn't have even batted an eye if they had said early 90s.
Yeah,
because it's still primitive enough for them to not have cell phones,
right?
To call
Exactly,
for help, things like that.
Which I guess is the point. I mean, if you want to set it in the 70s, just because that's when a lot of the movies you like came out, that doesn't seem like a valid point to do that. There's still creepy, horrible people alive and doing horrible, creepy shit in the 90s.
Yeah,
and today.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be set there also to make the audience feel like they're watching a 70s movie.
Yeah.
You can set a movie now and have a 70s aesthetic or a 70s feel or whatever.
Yeah. Or people from the 70s who are still around, and, because there's still crazy backwoods people, in America, probably kidnapping people, and that in itself would be creepy. In fact, it would work that way, because if it was in the 2000s and these kids come from like suburban modern homes, they're all spoiled brats or whatever, and now they're taken away into backwoods America, and they're not familiar with any of this shit, and there's no cell phones, and there's no, it's the contrast would have been really great to see. I guess I never noticed that it doesn't look like a 70s film, except for the second one.
Yeah. The remake of Texas Chainsaw with Jessica Biel looks more like a 70s movie than this movie does. And they're made, this is like around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like the same year, even, maybe. I mean, we're within striking distance of that Texas Chainsaw remake. I'm pretty sure, right?
I think so.
Like,
which is
03 or 04? Does that sound right?
I like that movie.
Yeah, I do too. So does Andrew and I we've talked about it. We talked about it a lot on the Texas Chainsaw episode we did, because that's a good example of this kind of movie.
Yeah. And I think he was going for more of Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw 2.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that remake with Jessica Biel, came out the same fucking year as this movie.
Jesus.
Yup.
That must have been awkward.
that in and of itself is why I'm less hot on this movie than I should have been. Because if you're gonna do that, do that.
Yeah.
But he couldn't do that with the budget he had, so he shouldn't have done it. But he did anyways.
Yeah. That is interesting. It's like it's the same concept, it's the same thing, just two different directors and budgets.
Yep.
And that really shows, because it's, for young people driving through America, and they come across crazy people and all shit hits the fan,
So to give you an idea, this movie's budget is only $2 million less than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie from 2003.
Wow.
This movie's budget was $7 million. That movie's budget was $9.5 million. Like, if you want to be Tobe Hooper, Mr. Zombie, be Tobe Hooper. It's not that hard. There are plenty of cinematographers and art directors who will help you make your movie look like a film from the 70s. That's people's jobs. But that, it's so fucking weird now to think about it that way, because that is, the biggest failure of the movie, is having no idea the time and place that it's set in.
That would have been interesting too if it was shot like a 70s film, like if it had like that Faces of Death kind of look to it. I know those are 80s, but just that grain, like very Super 8 kind of vibes.
I mean, Devil's Rejects has that, because Devil's Rejects has that level of like natural. There's a naturalism to Devil's Rejects that House of a Thousand Corpses lacks, or intentionally lacks.
Right, because I'm fully aware that Devil's Rejects, none of the budget went into like sets or anything like that, because it was all stuff that was just naturally there. You know, the abandoned towns, you know, in backwoods California, farmhouses and stuff that's just there. So he just filmed in those places that he admits himself in the making of the Devil's Rejects. He couldn't build that himself if he wanted to with all the money in the world. So that's why it works. Whereas Thousand Corpses, you're very aware that this is all on Universal sets and things like that.
It was the set in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas's house, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, now I'm gonna have to go watch that again.
Yep. And I want to say that this house on the Universal backlot shares the same area of the world with the Bates Motel house as well.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah. Because there was I was watching some behind the scenes stuff, and Rob Zombie talks about how the tour at the backlot would fuck up some of his shots. Sorry,
I read that too.
We're making a movie, guys.
Nobody cares, Rob. They want to see the fucking shark from Jaws attack the tram. They're not here for your bullshit, Rob.
Also, another thing that has always bugged me about this film, all of these films, is that they're supposed to take place in Texas. And they're quite obviously not in Texas.
I don't know. Texas is pretty hilly. As someone who was just in Texas recently, yeah, it didn't look nothing like fucking Texas.
It didn't look like Texas, and there's a specific cacti in the Devil's Rejects that gets shown a lot, and I'm like, we don't have those here.
So is there anything else we want to say about the House of a Thousand Corpses?
It's not the best. It's not the worst. I still like it because it's a fun, like, drive-in movie type of vibe. If you want to watch something that's just over the top and wacky, but it will give you a headache if you're not into that type of shit.
It's the one I'd watch again, is my final word on it. Not anytime soon.
Right. I think for me, it's funny that a movie shot on the Universal backlot ends up getting abandoned by Universal and gets released by somebody else. That for me still blows my mind because, yeah, this is a movie that exists because they hired Rob Zombie to make a haunted house for them. And in a lot of ways, it feels like a haunted house in movie form. You know, like the shots, those like grainy shots that they do where he was filmed in Rob Zombie's literal basement of his fucking house. It all feels very jump scare, kind of cheap haunted house. You can barely see the strings type shit.
It has as much depth as a haunted house.
Yep. And its ending even reinforces at the end ? Like,
and then we get Rob Zombie's mix of Brick House with a woman moaning at the beginning. It's like the movie is supposed to end on like a scary note, and then it just shows a question mark, and then you just hear, ooh. I'm like, well, that got scary. That's the scariest part.
And then Rob Zombie like sort of rapping over the song.
Oh my god!
Yeah, she's a brick house. Yeah. Like the Rob Zombie's singing stylings are, as much as I love them, right inside the wall. That's a chill, dude. Chill.
See, I do like the intro theme song. I have it, and it is creepy. I'll give it that.
Which one? From House of a Thousand Corpses?
Yeah, the song is called House of a Thousand Corpses. And it's just about skinning people. And
I will say not as many corpses as advertised, because in the beginning of The Devil's Rejects, the next film that we're talking about from 2005, they say there were like 75 bodies there.
Maybe even less. Right?
Yeah, like what the fuck, guys? 1,000 corpses, not as advertised.
Bill Moseley even pointed that out during the audio commentary. I'm an audio commentary guy, so he says
Nerd.
it, yeah, I know.
How dare you give a shit about the things you watch?
Homer Simpson driving by. Nerd.
But no, he points out, what happened to the 1,000 corpses? And Sid Haig says, well, people exaggerate.
Sid, you know what? Mark and I were talking about this and yesterday, and I think for me, like for 2 and 3 for sure, but 2, I think definitely. My favorite thing about this movie is the fact that Sid Haig and Bill Moseley are top billed in a movie. Like those two dudes don't get. What universe is Sid Haig and Bill Moseley the leads in a movie?
Right.
It's like, and it's something that Tarantino does. It's that same thing that Tarantino does, and
they give their friends work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people that they like, right? Like, I don't even know if I'm assume Bill Moseley and Rob Zombie are friends, but like, Rob Zombie saw Bill Moseley in fucking Texas Chainsaw 2 and was like, one day I want to make a movie with him.
Yeah. And he will play Otis Driftwood.
Yep.
You know what it makes me what I kept thinking in my head while I was watching these, knowing that those two guys are character actors getting a chance to be leads, it made me think of Deranged and how Roberts Blossom, minor character actor in dozens and dozens of films, other than say Citizens Band as another example, got the chance to be the lead in that movie. And
dude's on the fucking poster.
Along similar lines as far as content.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
I think he's a lot more successful in his role in Deranged than Bill Moseley or Sid Haig are in these movies.
You really think so? Man.
I think there's a nuance to his performance that these guys don't even come close to.
Yeah, but I think the expectation for the performance is different, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
these performances don't leave. I agree with you, but these performances leave no room for nuance.
Yeah,
I don't know much. I think Bill Moseley brought about as much nuance as he humanly could to the role.
That's my problem. That's where I get stuck with these movies. Is I need a little bit of nuance.
I'm with you.
I really do. I mean, and call me old fashioned or whatever. Even in an exploitation film, you can still have nuance, even if it's not the performances. It can be nuance in the script or nuance in the maybe accidental political bent of your film or whatever. I think we talked about this before, where with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you can write people write papers and theses on.
It's about
Texas
Vietnam.
Chainsaw.
It's about this. It's like nobody's wrong.
And whether that was intended or not, it doesn't matter because it got in there somehow.
Right.
And whether it was just a product of its time or not, it's in there and you can dig that stuff out. I don't think you can dig up much stuff from these films. And I guess that's my overall. If people, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody's cornflakes, and I know that people like these movies, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I respect people's opinions on film. For me, though, I've got to have something more. I got to be able to dig in there and find a kernel of something, and I don't in this. And in the performances, I definitely don't, which was my original thought there.
I mean, they've as they say in Ghostbusters, they buried the needle too far. Like, the performances are so far in one direction that they're off the chart and they're like they're beyond nuance. You know what I mean? Like, they can't bring them back. They're off the edge. Like, you could maybe rein some of like if Roberts Blossom reins it in at times, you can't rein this shit in when you've gone up and over the cliff and you're just catapulting towards the ground. Like, these performances are a race to the bottom. And in the third movie with Richard Brake, it's like, fuck it, we don't even care anymore. But in this movie, like, it really feels like a race to the bottom for at least Bill Moseley and Sheri Moon Zombie to see who can be more reprehensible. And
loud.
Right. And when you get to that point with your performance, like, there's no nuance to be had. It's gone completely.
It's the same complaint I had about Freebie and the Bean, the totally different kind of film, but them yelling at each other constantly just
too far in one direction.
It's too much of that for a whole movie. Saying "fuck you, motherfucker" at the top of your lungs for an hour and 45 minutes to me does not a performance make.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark has just described Bill Moseley in Devil's Rejects.
Even more so in Three from Hell.
Oh,
I mean, every other line was "motherfucker." I was like,
and again,
listen here, motherfucker.
And I think that's again, I don't have any problem with cussing. What did I watch? Watched some movie a couple weeks ago that is one of the highest counts for
Casino,
fuck.
Goodfellas.
Well, yeah, but it was something totally different than that, and that doesn't bother me on any kind of moral level or anything. But when it's in place of, or I think it's masking kind of a deficiency in the writing or even in the acting, where this makes things intense. Saying "fuck you, motherfucker" is supposed to make me feel like, oh, these guys are, they're dangerous or whatever. And it just becomes kind of ridiculous and repetitive after a while.
Yeah, because it doesn't make them feel scary. And when he says things like, you'll get to know the boogeyman, things like that are spooky on their own. We don't need to throw in the "motherfucker" at the end, because then that just makes it feel like a badass line and not so much "I'm a menacing person" line. And especially with The Devil's Rejects, didn't do it as much as the next one. The plot itself is just a revenge film at the end of the day, all based on something that we forgot happened in the first movie.
Pretty much with a character that were not legitimately mattered. Yeah.
I literally forgot. I was like, wait, he got killed? Oh yeah.
It's his brother. Oh
yeah. And once that happens, then you're like, oh, okay, well, that's what this movie's about. Well, thanks for telling me about 30 minutes in.
See what I mean? Again, these movies, like I looked when I was watching Three from Hell. It takes an hour in that movie to get to the plot, quote unquote. And in this movie, it's like 30 as opposed to an hour. Right. But yeah, as much as I kind of already mentioned, like, this is the one that I enjoyed the most, and I've enjoyed Bill Moseley's performance in this and the third one, these movies are still not good. Like, it's like a masterclass in wheel spinning. Because like you mentioned already, Mark, you have these protracted scenes of just like rape and just people being mean to each other. Like the scene with Bill Moseley and Jeffrey Lewis in the hotel, it's one of the meanest scenes put to film. Like
Priscilla Barnes, the molesting his wife kind of thing.
Yeah, and, it's really mean and mean-spirited, and the emotional intensity that the female characters are having to put themselves through, while the male characters, at least the ones played by the sociopaths, the Bill Moseley character, they're having so much fun. And, Bill Moseley, they had a thing where he's like, hey, Rob, I don't really feel comfortable doing all of this. And I think Rob Zombie said to him, like, art is not safe. Art is not safe. Like,
if that isn't the most pretentious shit you could have said.
I want to like Rob Zombie, but like, dude, get out of your own ass.
Yeah.
Like, it's not art. It's just a movie. Like,
if I was directing something like this and someone came to me and said, hey, look, this is making me really uncomfortable and it's bumming me out, I would just make sure that you are sure you can't do it, because, it would make the movie a little more extreme if that's the goal. But at the end of the day, it can go. We don't need it. Or it can be shortened.
No. We have to have Otis Driftwood verbally and then physically raping a woman for 10 minutes.
Well, because even Rob points it out himself. The scene that follows when Otis takes the two guys to go dig up some guns. What a weird side plot, by the way. But they're
another 25-minute fucking detour.
Yeah, they're going to pick up guns, and Rob says himself that Otis is more menacing as he's verbally abusing people, not so much physically.
Yeah, Bill Moseley at this point in his life is in his mid-50s. Like,
yeah, and so he's taunting these two guys.
I know, Mark, but the problem is it's not his age. It's Bill Moseley's not an intimidating guy. And then they make Otis Driftwood look like an older man than he actually even is.
Right, because if I saw him and he was like, I'm going to come kill you, a little part of me would be like, well, he probably has a gun. But if he's unarmed, I could probably take you.
Right, we all could take his ass. Like,
I could take you. We could all jump you right now. Like, there's more of us in this hotel room. My girlfriend could take you, and she's a Chihuahua. So yeah, I never got any intimidation from Bill Moseley as far as being physically. But when he was taunting them, okay, I could see that. Sid Haig was more of a scary presence just because he's so tall, and then in the clown makeup, that was creepy. The teeth and
he's a big guy.
Yeah, so that's a little more intimidating, even though he's older. And quite obviously an older man, he's still very tall, therefore overbearing and could probably physically overpower you. Whereas Otis is just a lanky, nerdy sounding, you see him and you're like, I bet I know what he sounds like. And then he talks and you're like, that's not at all what I was thinking he sounded like. Because he sounds like he would have like kind of a, fucking deep country voice, and he talks like this, and he's like,
listen here, motherfucker.
You motherfucker.
Sounds like a dude from Connecticut, because that's where he's fucking from. That's where Bill Moseley's from.
Because Sid Haig has that deep voice, Maybe he had a divine moment when his brains hit the floor. Just this creepy shit. Baby's just being a brat the whole movie.
Oh. Yeah, this is when she, for me, I was like, no, there's like nothing from.
I love Rob Zombie's wife just laughing on camera. He's like, Rob, nobody likes this as much as you, and your wife doesn't even like this as much as you. She said as much. She doesn't want to be an actress, dog. Like, come on. It's a lot, right, Mark?
You can be intense and terrifying with a whisper,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's none of that in these movies.
Well, that's what the sheriff does, at least in the movie. When he finally kidnaps them, and he's just taunting them, and he's drunk and he's high, and he's not he's yelling throughout the film somewhat, but maybe it's just the actor's choice to be that kind of badass sheriff. We're coming to get you, but he doesn't ever see, if anybody has a good character, it's him, because he's having these weird dreams about his dead brother that are so creepy, and you're literally watching him become more and more unhinged as he's hellbent on revenge, and he's getting closer to finding them, and he's going to take out everybody that he can that's in the way, and he succeeds in getting to them. And so that would have been the character to really, really make prominent. It should have been his movie, basically. But he's he's
the villain.
Yeah, but which is weird.
Well, again, that's the thing about these movies, at least 2 and 3. The villains in the characters that would be villains in literally any other movie are the heroes in these movies. And the characters that would be the heroes in literally any other movie are painted as the villains, and then you're given like 1 or 2 things where you're like, but you can hang like the warden in the next movie, where it's like, I kind of feel bad for this guy until I find out that he's like sexually molesting his guards.
Right.
And then it's like, well, he kind of deserves this then. But like Rob Zombie always has to throw that in there, because otherwise it's like, this won't work. Because there's no way. They're again, like you mentioned, Mark, with their performances, they're like no nuance. Like they're written in such a direction that they're too reprehensible to be redeemable. And because they're too reprehensible to be redeemable, I can't find them to be like anti-heroes.
Yeah, it kind of happens like that, doesn't it? It's like we didn't get to grow.
Wait, they want ice cream, so they must be cool cats now.
Yeah, it happened so fast that they went from these bloody massacre, killing people,
cutting people's faces off, raping,
and then the next scene they're like, "Oh, is that my baby niece?" Well, I guess we're supposed to like baby now, because now they're not killing anybody, and now they're just chilling and drinking and partying and having one-on-ones with each other. And these are the scenes that are supposed to make us feel like, wow, they're actually nice people.
Family.
Yeah,
they're human beings that like tutti frutti ice cream.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, but I don't know, and
it's like that from the new Texas Chainsaw, where you're being set up to not necessarily like, but to side with the bad guy because the good guys are also terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
They kicked him out of his house.
Is anybody actually good? Is what these movies do.
Which can be done in an interesting way, and we all know that. I mean, It's sort of hard to make cops heroes in movies anymore, for one thing. But I mean, even at this time, 15 or however many years ago, 17. I don't know. Can't do my math right now.
17 years ago, yeah.
It wouldn't have been as hard of a sell, but I really don't want to side with the Firefly family. I'm sorry. That's just not, and I think I've mentioned this to you, Chris, in the past. I'm not the guy that really roots for Jason in the Friday the 13th films.
Yeah.
I know he's there and I know he's going to kill a bunch of people, but I don't want you to make these characters so awful that I'm cheering when they get killed. That's not how I watch horror movies. And I know a lot of people do these days.
Right. Silly fun, right, Mark?
Silly fun with great kills. That's what you hear about all these reboots and everything else that's coming out, and the brutal great kills are fine. I love great inventive, interesting kills in movies too. Love it. Part of the reason why I watch horror movies, but I don't want to hate the characters. I actually want to feel bad for them when they go. I want to root for people to survive and actually have an emotional response when they die. That's something other than, yay, that asshole's dead.
Right.
But again, this is me and my peculiarities.
Well, I'm kind of the same way because I'm a huge Halloween fan, but I'm never rooting for Michael Myers. I'm rooting for the person to get away or to succeed in defeating Michael Myers. That's in this movie. It's like we're supposed to like them, but keep in mind that Otis rapes women and
murders cheerleaders and skins people
and rapes those cheerleaders' corpses. He says as much.
Yeah, and Baby seduces men to lure them back to the house and skin them alive. And Sid Haig's character is he takes part in it too by helping, and trying to cover things up. It's like they're not good people, and but I was trying to find out what it is that's supposed to make the sheriff the bad guy, because they succeed in making him the bad guy. I watched the movie and I'm like, clearly I'm not rooting for him. I'm not rooting for the family, but I don't want the sheriff to win in this either because he's obviously. I get maybe it's just, does he kill anybody that doesn't deserve to be killed in this film?
Technically not. I mean,
Ken Foree,
but he's
hiding.
He changes his mind and goes and helps them. So
right. So you're helping these rapists.
I don't know. I mean, William Forsythe's character he's not like the warden. He's just a cop with, he's a cop on the edge.
Yeah.
He's a cop who's his usage of force may be deemed too much, right?
Yeah, he's descending.
Yeah,
and he likes to be in control.
Looking into the void is looking back, and it's.
But he's also a woman.
He's going down to their level
because he beats the shit out of Mother Firefly.
But she deserves it, right? Per the movie's logic.
Right. I mean, she's not played by Karen Black in this one. I forgot what the actress's name is.
Leslie Easterbrook.
Yeah. I wonder why Karen Black didn't.
She wanted too much money.
Really? Oh, well.
Don't blame her.
Me too. If I'm going to be in your movie,
yeah. If that's the reason you're not going to cast me, then fine. Yeah. Recast the role.
I do like I do like the whole. What's that actor's name? Because he's been in Walking Dead. He's part of the band in the blue van.
Oh,
what is his name? He gets his face skinned in this movie.
Not the older guy, the Brian Posehn?
No, the thinner one. He pukes as soon as Brian.
Lou Temple.
Oh, yes, I know.
Lou Temple. I do like that characterization because it was funny seeing him go from this big mouth shit talker to instant pussy. as soon as like people come in with guns, he stopped talking shit, because the whole movie he's just talking shit, you know. And he's bitching about the TV, and he's bitching about someone's titties, and he's bitching about this and that, and as soon as Bill Moseley comes in, he's like, "Please, mister, this is insane."
And see, like, that's the problem with the movie, is there is some shit where it's like, these people have it coming.
Yeah.
But it's like, but at the same time, it's like, did they really need it this bad? Because that's the question.
Priscilla
right?
Barnes did not have it coming.
No.
I don't know why she got killed that way, and neither did Brian Posehn. The guy was so innocent. He was just getting beef jerky. And
wrong place, wrong time. What about the chick with the fucking Lou Temple's face on her face?
Poor thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yikes.
I'm like, stop running, please, because I know
Don't
exactly
run into the middle of the street.
I know exactly where this is going.
Yeah.
Stop running.
I will say that scene is the only horror scene in the movie, because the what is it? House housekeeping finds her, and she's hanging there, and it is freaky to look at, you know, and she's trying to ask for help. I don't know why she didn't take the mask off, but I guess it was
right.
tied really tight or something.
Didn't she? I thought she had like a knife taped in her hand.
Did she?
Didn't she?
I don't think so.
Oh, I missed that.
I don't think they would give her a knife.
Well, why was the lady chasing after? Why was she freaking out that she was chasing after her then?
Because she sees a crazy masked woman.
That's fair.
Covered in blood, screaming her head off. I would run too.
That's fair.
If not, shit myself first.
I don't know why they didn't just
Danny Trejo's also so they left her to be alive then. They didn't kill her.
I mean, didn't they?
She died on accident.
Accident?
Yes, Bill Moseley sent that truck to run over. It was just splattered.
I mean, she went like nuts. I mean, she went into shock. So
yeah, she's wearing her husband's face, you know, so
yeah,
that'll
fucking do it.
Yeah, I guess I buy it a little bit. And I guess, you know, running into the street, you're not really paying attention. That was sad, though. I felt bad for her. I don't think she deserved it that much.
I mean, that's the problem. Like, essentially, anybody that gets murdered in this movie didn't deserve it for the most part.
Yeah, because she seemed really sensitive, and minus being married to Lou Temple, but he was nice to her. Then wearing his face, and
but hey, at least we get Danny Trejo in this movie.
Hey, as Rondo,
not as Machete.
No, he's Rondo. What does he say? He's like, here are the list of fugitives that we want you to look for. He says, those are some funny fucking names. Yeah, you should fucking talk, Rondo.
Rondo. And Diamond Dallas Page, of all people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
So what are they, bounty hunters?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Unholy Two.
You hired the Unholy Two because you wanted the best.
So
but they're such shit talkers though, because he's like, have fun scraping all them brains up off the road. But those guys are from around town, you can tell.
But that's the thing, like, again, like when you think about this movie, it's like those are the characters you'd be rooting for in another movie, and I guess you can kind of root for them in this movie.
I kind of liked them in this movie. I was like, you know, watching them beat the shit out of Otis. I was like, you know what, Otis had it coming. So I don't know if we're supposed to feel bad for Otis, but I didn't. I was like, you're finally getting what you deserve. These two big dudes are beating the shit out of you. And he doesn't put up a fight. And he talks a big shit, and he doesn't put up a fight. That was interesting to me, seeing Otis just be defenseless after they shoot E.G. in the head. My Rugrats queen.
E.G. Daily, bro.
E.G. Daily.
Bang, bang. I thought that's who that was. And I was like, oh my God, that voice sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Listen here,
mistake that voice.
Listen here, Tommy Pickles. Get the fuck out of here.
Her, and then the other girl, one of the girls was from the lead female in The Warriors. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen her in anything in years.
Oh, Deborah Van Valkenburg.
She used to be on all kinds of stuff.
Yep. But Mark Begley, I got a question for you. How about that ending?
Well, I mean, that should have been the end.
Talk about excessive.
Yeah. Of course, knowing that there was a third movie, I'm thinking, okay, well, they obviously weren't necessarily planning for a third movie because there's no way they survived this.
No.
They're pulling and I think I did this on the last show we did. They're pulling, he didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car on us here.
That's right.
Because I know that they're going to come back and they're all still alive at the beginning of the third movie. So,
I was obsessed with that ending as a teenager. I thought it was so cool with Freebird playing.
I mean, it is cool. The problem is, it's just like
that's all it is.
He plays up into the guitar solo of Freebird, folks. That's like 4 minutes. He plays like half of the song.
Plus, I was just going to say it's over long again. It's over long. And
so what's that inspired by? Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, Bonnie and Clyde. Come on. It's got to be.
Right.
Well, he said his inspirations for this one were Bonnie and Clyde, Badlands, and then there was a third movie,
Thelma and Louise,
Wild Bunch as well.
And I'm like, again, all three of those movies that you're talking about have nuance, have slow moments, have quiet moments, have intense moments as well, but it's not just screaming, yelling, fuck you, motherfucker.
There was one, but it was funny. And it was Sid Haig wanting to do Ken Foree's Cocaine, where they're talking about how much they love each other. And he's like, he says, you got a nose like a vacuum. Don't do up all my cocaine. And he says, would I do that to you? He says, no, you're my brother and I love you, but I love my cocaine better. Fuck you. That's like the funniest part.
That other movie, Mark, was The Wild Bunch.
Okay. Well, I mean, that makes a little more sense.
Which explains the ending.
Yeah. I do like that we didn't actually hear her say motherfucker, but we got to read the lips on that one before the car actually took off. See, that would have been a great way. Just erase all the motherfuckers from the movie, and that would have been the only one. And it wasn't even really said or heard. You know what I mean? Just to give it that, like, oh yeah, that's a badass part where she finally, she says motherfucker and they take off. But it doesn't have any punch because they say it throughout the whole movie.
Right.
So why
every other line?
Yeah, why at this point cut it out? And they're being riddled with bullets.
Yeah.
They
don't survive that.
That's the Bonnie and Clyde Wild Bunch thing.
Yeah. In slow motion with bad CGI blood.
Oh my god! All of the CGI blood in this movie and the next
is bad.
Yikes!
It's so
it's
bad.
Like a fucking asylum movie. Like, dude, I thought this movie was being made by a real studio. Holy shit! Come on.
And I don't understand why, if they do have practical effects in the film.
I thought Rob Zombie is a practical effects guy. Maybe not.
Well, I think it was money and time. Like, we don't have the time to set up, because all the from what I read, all the up close stuff, anything that was skin contact was CGI. So,
God.
It clothes you could have. Although I think there were still a few blood splats CGI on clothes, but. It's fix it in post. It's even back then in 2005.
Yeah.
People were already thinking that way.
Even the knife was CGI.
Yeah.
That was bad. I mean,
and I watched the, speaking of remakes, the Friday the 13th, 2009 remake, and they use a CGI machete for most of the kills in that.
Mm.
And again, it's 4 years later, but still, I think by 2005, we've got a good handle on CGI. Just think of how far back Jurassic Park was made.
And Titanic, come on.
2009. So anyway, I could not tell that it was a CGI machete for most of the kills in that 2009 Friday the 13th. But in this and in the 2019 film, they're still using CGI.
Oh, it's
still not good.
It's after. Yeah. It's effects and after. It puts the after in After Effects.
It really looks like they made him do it in Devil's Rejects, and he liked how the pacing worked on it. and therefore he just did it all out in the third one. Like they spoiled him basically, letting him know, don't worry, you could just CG it.
I've seen these before in Steven Seagal direct to streaming movies. Like that's how frustrating the effects are in this movie. It's like this looks like a cheaper movie, cheaper than even the kind of movie that I know Rob Zombie's trying to make. It's like a direct to streaming level quality of effects. And that's not what this movie is. Like, even if we don't like this movie, we can agree this is not one of those kind of movies at all.
Right. It's really out of place in a film where you're trying to
be
your influences
in
where your influences are these grindhouse exploitation
films. They
films.
use practical effects. They're still, if you're making a grindhouse movie today, are you gonna use fucking digital effects? Are you gonna use practical effects? I know the answer. We all do.
Right. Well, Robert Rodriguez likes to use CG like crazy.
Right, but he's Mr. Grindhouse too. And it's like, what the fuck, guys? Yeah. There's only one guy who's still doing it of those people, and it's Tarantino. He hasn't gone after effects yet. I mean, think about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's all practical.
All the stuff in Inglourious Bastards. Think about the effects in that.
It would have really added a really good touch to The Devil's Rejects for everything to be practical.
And you don't even need, if you're slitting somebody's throat and you have the option of just using a knife with a little blood pump thing on it, I'd much rather see that. I don't need to see like the neck wound open up and gallons of blood pour out. If it's going to be fake, I'm fine with just a line of blood squirted out from the knife.
Yeah, because it feels grisly.
Then you can cut to an open neck wound or something. I don't know.
It would have really made the movie feel a lot more grisly and filthier had the CG not been so bad, because it does pull you out of these scenes that are supposed to be disturbing and real. And majority of the film is in the sunlight. And that gives a lot of room to do really great practical effects. Because, The Hills Have Eyes did it, the remake. And it's like fake blood under the sun just looks really good. And so that's why, the splatter scene where the girl gets hit by the truck and we get to see the aftermath was really awesome to see, just blood splattered all over the street. So when you don't do something like that, and it's all just CGI, and it's quite obviously CGI, it does pull you out of that moment because you're so focused on how bad it looks.
Yeah, I mean, for me, a couple of the shots, where bullets are supposed to be hitting, and it actually looks like the CG is on a separate layer of, it looks like there's space in between that and the thing that it's supposed to be on. That's when I'm like, okay, that's not working for me at all.
Yeah. And it was working a little bit when, like, you could see like the car getting a little bit damaged in the back. That didn't bug me. It was obviously CG, but it worked for what was going on. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like specifically on like Baby's shoulder. She gets shouldered and you see her moving. It's like they couldn't get the CG to follow her that well.
Right. It's like so it's not actually on their body.
Yeah.
And you can really tell that it's not.
But I saw behind the scenes and they were all drenched in blood. I don't know why they couldn't just do that.
I have a real hard time understanding the idea behind using the After Effects that they did in this movie when everything else is practical. It's bizarre. And it's a bizarre choice because it really extends into the next movie, and it makes the next movie not even feel tonally the same as this one.
Yeah.
So is there anything else we want to talk about with Devil's Rejects?
It's fun. It's got a cool soundtrack.
Yeah, Rob Zombie knows how to pick music. That's for sure.
I don't think I pulled any positives out of this one that I didn't take notes on these films, and I thought about halfway through the first one, I'm like, oh, just take notes, Mark, be a professional. And then I was reminding myself, I'm not a professional. I'm not getting paid for this. So fuck it. I'm not taking notes.
Wow, this guy right here.
It does have film school written all over it. I'll give it that too. It looks like a student film.
Boy.
The way it was, not the way it looks, but I mean like the directing and everything. It looks like some college kid made it.
Well, speaking of some college kid making it, let's talk about 3 from Hell, which was released 3 years ago, which is insanity. When you watch
when
the
in
movie,
2019 was it released?
September.
Yeah, so we weren't that far off. Like you said, the last
last 6 months.
The last 2 years are basically have been like 1 year. So this feels like it's only a year ago.
Yep. This movie came out right before the pandemic happened.
Yeah, and
that's crazy.
Can we talk about the space gap between Devil's Rejects and 3 from Hell?
14 years.
Fuck.
14 fucking years, which is why Sid Haig is in this movie for one scene.
Yeah.
Because Sid Haig was on death's door.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Literally dying, and Sid Haig literally passed away 5 days after this movie came out. So feels a little much, Rob Zombie, to be putting a guy that sick in your movie just because. I mean, if he said it was okay to do it and he wanted to do it, great, but it's a little slightly.
I still think even if Sid Haig was like, use it, use my stuff. Those were his last words or whatever. I hope those weren't his last words. Use my stuff, Rob. I love you. You're a great guy. I love being in these movies. Thanks a bunch. I think if it were me, I would go another route. And that whole kind of prologue where we go over what's been going on with them, I guess it's 10 years later. The movie proper is 10 years after they get arrested. And just have him be there only in the prologue, not even as a character, just let's talk about Captain Spaulding. He was eventually sent to the electric chair.
Or he was the one that died.
Don't even have his, or he died in the shootout. The one fatality of the shootout.
The shootout Fine. That none of them should have survived anyways.
Yeah, you're even better, Chris, actually. But it just, it makes me kind of sad. And I used to see him every so often in town here. And, it always it would always take me a minute. Like I would think that it was a teacher I had or something in the college when I would see him. Cause I'm like, why do I know this guy's face? And it was always either at the post office or at our Tower Records when it was still around. But anyway, so I have a special affinity for Sid Haig, local boy, done good. And that really bummed me out because he didn't look well, and this was his last film. And again,
he looks very unhealthy.
Not to speak for him, he may not have cared at all and wanted his scenes in there, but it's hard to watch.
It's not great. He looks real sickly.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
I mean, comparatively to even the version that they show of him at the beginning of this movie, you can definitely tell that there's been a significant, not just a significant passage of time, but also a significant passage in health decline. And Bill Moseley looks pretty old too, but the facial hair covers it up pretty well.
Yeah.
And Bill Moseley still looks pretty good with his shirt off for a dude who's like in his fucking late 60s at this point.
Yeah.
Because he's 70 now. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, right? That was my response. Looks pretty good for a dude who's in his 70s or is 70 now. So
yeah, he does actually. He still does because I follow him on Twitter and I've seen current pictures and stuff.
It's like Tom Savini.
Right, yeah, pretty much. But so if you can't tell, this movie does not have Sid Haig in it essentially at all outside of the prologue. And it stars Sheri Moon Zombie, Bill Moseley, and Richard Brake as the quote-unquote titular 3 from Hell. What is the plot of this movie? Well, they break baby out of jail, and then they go to Mexico. And that's it.
Yep.
Somehow it takes 2 fucking hours to tell that story.
I have a real issue with how they get out of jail, too. Not how baby gets out of jail. I think that's actually... If I'm going to pick a positive from this one that I can remember,
it was sneaky.
It was how they got her out of jail. But the way that I want to call him Chop Top, the way that Otis gets out of jail is ridiculous. And it made me think a 12-year-old wrote this. that whole bit. For one thing, I don't think that people on death row do work detail.
No.
And they definitely don't do work detail outside of the prison that they're in.
No, that's correct.
And
the
why
80s.
was there a fucking camera there to film the escape? That was ridiculous.
This is supposed to take place in the 80s, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't look like it.
Yeah.
No, well, and that was, that I kind of hinted at that when we were talking about Devil's Rejects. Boy, this movie looks like it takes place in like 2015. Or actually, it looks like it takes place in 2019. Because again, you can give Dee Wallace these glasses and this uniform, and you can make Jeff Daniel Phillips look the way that he does. But Jeff Daniel Phillips looks like that all the time. In 2019 movies or movies set in 1975. Jeff Daniel Phillips just always looks that way. Yeah. And so it's, again, rather timeless, no matter how much big old glasses and big collared jackets you give him and cream colored nonsense and pastels. This movie looks like it takes place in 2019.
Cream colored nonsense.
I'm sorry.
That's the greatest thing you've ever said.
It looks like it takes place in contemporary times, and
yeah, they all do.
yeah. And you know what? Look, I'm glad that they got an actor who can convincingly look like he's an actor from the 70s in Our Friend, the sullen-faced Mr. Richard Brake. But this movie looks so polished and clean and sanitized. And you know what? That's probably the biggest insult you can give Rob Zombie is your movie doesn't look dirty, bro. It looks
it's
very
pretty.
Sanitized. It's very sanitized. Yeah.
It's
too clean.
I thought that Dr. Satan actually was going to be a part of this, because in my head, I thought Rob would bring him back, and that would kind of make sense of how the characters were brought back, because it's called Three from Hell. And Satan, Dr. Satan, I thought that since he works on people and creates humanoids, that he would work on their corpses or something.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, you're doing somebody else's job way too good.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I honestly, the nerd in me would have been like, okay, cool. Call back to 1,000 Corpses. And let's just.
Why didn't that happen?
And have them be zombies. I mean,
yeah, make a fucking dumb, crazy, over the top movie, but he wanted to keep it based in Devil's Rejects universe,
right,
which is supposed to be based in reality.
Even though they get shot to fucking hell and survive somehow.
Yeah.
The reality of these movies is tenuous at best.
Free the three.
Oh, come on. Okay, let's
Evil
talk about
dies
that
tonight.
Let's talk about that shit for a second. There is no fucking universe, including our own. No multiverse of madness, as I make Doctor Strange hands over here. You cannot convince me that real people would fucking get behind these assholes.
Manson's family had acolytes.
Manson,
Yeah. But Manson didn't kill 75 fucking people.
People still want to sleep with Richard Ramirez.
Fuck their yeah. But those people aren't going on the news like these people are. It seems a bigger cause than just 5 people. Do you know what I mean?
See, but that's the thing. He takes that real life instance and turns it into this, and it's ridiculous, and you're going, come on.
Right. Nobody would be like, oh yeah, these people that fuck corpses and skin people's faces, free them, let them go back on the road again. Are you fucked out of your head?
You know there's an Ed Gein fan club. Come on.
Yeah, but they didn't want Ed Gein back on the streets.
That's true. Would you?
No, I would not. Well, that's the thing. Again, that's the thing. What Ed Gein did is he fucked around with corpses and he never actually killed anybody. These people are murdering with wanton abandon.
He killed 2 people.
He shot that lady in the back of the head.
He killed the barmaid.
Right.
And the girl. I mean, those are actual.
Right. That's right. But he didn't kill his mom.
No.
He played with her corpse.
He cannibalized her. Yeah.
Yeah. He played with her corpse. But you wouldn't want that guy back on the street. I don't know why.
A table lamp.
Why would anybody realistically want these people back on the streets?
Because they were framed.
They were framed. Framed for what? By who? For what purpose?
By Waddell.
Sheriff Waddell.
Yeah, okay. But that for me, like that caused celeb shit in this movie. It was like, come on.
And
you're going to introduce it, say something about it.
It was made pointless too. It didn't add anything because when they are free, I thought, oh, they're going to hang out with their own cult, to protect them.
You're making better movies here than what we got.
Andy is a filmmaker already, better than Rob Zombie is after 15 movies or however many. He's made way too many movies too on top of everything else.
I figured that's what was going to happen, was that they would escape and that they would be taken under by their own following and become basically.
That's a lot more interesting than what we got. The Dr. Satan idea and that. If they
and those two things could have been in the same movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they had summoned a cult and
remove Richard Brake.
Wait, you don't like Richard Brake?
Not in this.
I didn't care for him in this either. I haven't seen him in a ton of stuff, and it's usually, again, small roles. But of the things that I have seen him in, this is my least favorite performance.
Yeah.
Or character, I should say, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get it. He's one of those actors where when he's in things, it's like you're like a gross dude, right?
It's Rob's fault. He keeps giving him these fucking roles where he's just a disgusting thing. Like, it's not even a person.
Yeah, you're like a amorphous piece of shit. Like
when he's the clown in 31 and he's just fucking people and screaming, I'm like, this isn't scary. It's just gross. And like, he talks about fucking corpses in Halloween 2 before getting decapitated. And then there's this where
he's in Halloween 2?
Yeah, he's one of the people driving Michael's body away from the crime scene.
Oh my God.
And he's talking about, one of the girl's dead bodies. She's got nice.
Right. Gross. Yeah. What the fuck?
He said he got wood just ziplocking her up. I was like, okay.
Well, see, that kind of stuff summarizes his films for me.
Richard Brake. Brake.
No, the Rob Zombie films.
Oh.
Like everybody has to be a twisted motherfucker.
Right. Everybody's disgusting.
And it's like,
What, you don't like what William Forsythe is just screaming in Halloween 1?
Absolutely not. It drives me insane.
And now in this, they have him, like, even I was like, I don't see how this is necessary. And it's, if we're trying to make me like this guy, I don't already right off the bat. Having him play with someone's ashes, I was like,
right.
I'm surprised that I feel like there was a lot more to that scene.
maybe.
I would have written. You know what? Here's the thing: Rob Zombie, Robert Cummings, as they call you in certain circles. You're going to have a scene where you have a character playing with someone's mother's ashes, and you don't force them to eat them, or force them to cover that person in them, or do something more perverse than just like. Like
sprinkle it, yeah.
What the fuck? CM Punk in the WWE did more with Paul Bearer's ashes in the build up to WrestleMania, and that's rated PG.
Yeah,
dude.
Like, it would have been cool.
Yeah,
when he picks up the ashes, she says, "You don't need to touch those. Those are my mother's
ashes." I'm like, "Oh shit, here we go!" Like,
it could have just been a moment where he just looks at her and goes, "Oh," and just drops it, and then like walks over, and then you'd be like, "Wow, what a douche!" But like playing with it, I'm like. Well,
it's not only over the top.
You're beyond a douche now. You're just evil. And I know that I think that's what it is. I mean, his character is supposed to be trying to one up Otis.
He should have sprinkled the ashes on Otis's beer and then been like, chugged it and been like, fuck you. Like,
that sounds very Rob Zombie.
But he doesn't do any of that. It's like, they're just like the scene where the two roll up on Otis and Richard Brake. And they're like confronting them in the woods, and he's, he got a gun on him. He's like, I'm going to kill you. And then Richard Brake just starts talking about how they're going to like sexually perversely fuck up this guy's wife. And then the guy gets murdered and the wife gets her face cut off. And it cuts really strangely there where she's like, her face has been cut off and she's like Joe Pesci in Casino, but without the sand. And then it just cuts to Sheri Moon Zombie. And I was like, is there more here that we're missing? Because again, I'm supposed to be right. I'm supposed to be grossed out, Rob Zombie, and it feels like you're pulling punches now, pal. Like it's
especially with a movie called 3 from Hell.
It's from 2019, pal, and we're supposed to believe that this, like, I don't understand. Like, at this point, this movie feels fucking tame, and this movie, like the movies that, like the movie that Rob Zombie made in 2005, Devil's Rejects, right? That felt edgy then. This movie feels like this isn't fucking edgy.
Yeah, run of the mill.
Yeah, this movie's not edgy. These movies aren't edgy anymore. They're just kind of lame. Like 3 from Hell is kind of lame, really.
It's like it's your drunk uncle that used to be fun, and then he comes back.
Yeah, he's hanging on to the last vestiges of being cool.
Yeah, and you're like, that joke. You've told that joke.
Yeah.
Every time you come to the barbecue, you tell the same fucking story, man. Like,
Yeah.
Plus he's always yelling "fuck you, motherfucker," and telling people that he likes to fuck corpses with nice titties.
Yeah, and shit on them. It's like, dude.
And then it's just like, yeah, this isn't fun anymore, Uncle Joe.
You're drunk. Go home.
And that's the way I feel about this movie. It's like, dude, people have done this better in the last 15 years since you did your best movie, by my approximation at least, or most kind of on point movie for what you were trying to make. This movie just feels boring and dumb and lame and like so meh that by the end of it, I was like, yeah, I mean, what was the point of this? You left them where doing what, and you're not making any more? So who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one that I tuned out of the most.
Easiest one to tune out of, to be perfectly honest with you.
Catch myself going, oh, wait, pay attention at least. And all the stuff in Mexico, I just couldn't have cared less about.
Oh, you mean an hour into the movie after we've had a 45-minute long torture scene with Clint Howard pissing himself? Cool.
That is the thing that confused me. I'm like, why did a kid clown show up to their house?
No fucking reason.
Because Rob Zombie wanted Clint Howard there.
Or was it somebody's birthday and they didn't?
Nope.
Well,
no.
But did they show any kids? Did the warden and his wife and the other guy and his wife have?
No.
Well, they were going to have a dinner party. Maybe they invited him as a joke or something.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense, but
no.
But to be fair, does any of this shit make sense?
But it's not. When he showed up, I thought, oh, he's going to be a part of this.
He's crazy.
And then no, it's just like they are going to kill the clown that showed up for no reason. Okay.
Why not have this movie? Why not have this movie open the way the last movie ended? The 3 of them getting shot up. Their bodies are then taken somewhere to be thrown away. Dr. Satan comes and steals it, revives them, like Andy said. And then it takes 10 years to do that. So then you can explain why they look 10 years older, because they got blown away. Captain Spaulding, we tried with him, but he died.
They saved his brain.
Or something fucking real stupid. Real goddamn idiot shit. Like Rob Zombie, make something dumb. Yeah, put it in Richard Brake's head or somebody else. Who the fuck knows? And have that actor just, have Captain Spaulding mannerisms or whatever the fuck. We're doing your job for you, Rob Zombie, at this point. And then you have the cult of these yo-yos where it's like they became mythologized after death, which would make more sense than them being mythologized while they're still alive.
Yeah, because it would have been all over the news,
right.
3 serial killers slain, and this is their story. And in those 10 years, there was a documentary or some shit.
And then maybe they might have actually been anti-heroes, because in killing them, you give them an opportunity to do something else, to kill people worse than them. Who knows? But you fucked up, Rob Zombie, and you literally fucked up your own movie on your own. You wrote this. You're the only one credited, and you're the only one who directed it. And you couldn't have come up with a better idea. And it feels like he just kind of gave up after Sid Haig passed away. I don't know, but the prologue of this movie was Sid Haig. That is the most interesting part of this movie.
There is one scene that's kind of scary. I will give it that. There was one scene that I was like, man, that would have horrified me had it happened in real life. Is when they're hiding out at a hotel and Baby goes to get a soda, and this guy is flirting with her and tells her, "You kind of look like that chick on TV." And she's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, but it couldn't have been you because she's like a serial killer." She goes, "Oh no, that's me." and the music just kind of does that boom, and the guy just kind of looks at her like, that moment I was like, oh shit, this poor dude. But then, they don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Because that was a great little moment of like, oh man, these are like civilians now just dealing with the devil's rejects. And usually people dealing with them are like one-on-one, or there's something personal. It's all family related. Even in this movie, it's a revenge film because they killed Danny Trejo. So now the cartel is after them. And, but to see like someone who's just a random person getting a soda have to deal with a serial killer that they have no idea what they're capable of, would have been really a great moment for like a hostage or something like that. Because he saw it on TV and now he's a part of it. But they didn't do anything. She just kills him off camera.
Poor Sean Whalen. I love him as an actor. He's great. He has such like a unique look to him. I don't know. I love him as an actor. He's from Twister. That's what I mostly remember him from.
Never Been Kissed, I think.
The first Chrome Dome movie. I forget what it's called. We literally had this conversation like a couple weeks ago. Out for Blood. What the fuck is that? Laid to Rest. That movie. He's like one of the main characters in that movie. Yeah.
I was thinking, they're going to replay the motel scene from The Devil's Rejects, because that's kind of how that starts out, where she goes up to what's his name? That
Jeffrey Lewis.
Yeah.
Another actor who can play a schlub really well.
I love that guy.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
His X-Files episode is so good.
Which X-Files episode?
He's a photographer. The photographers that take the pictures of corpses for the cops or whatever.
Crime scene photographer.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're good.
But anyway, I thought it was going to go on that direction. But it wasn't making me happy because I thought, didn't we already do this?
Right.
Yeah.
But then they didn't do anything with it, like you say. And it's like, oh, well, that was a lost opportunity.
Isn't that this entire movie? Haven't they already done this? I mean, that's my whole kind of posit with this third movie is like, what's even the fucking point here? Like, they can be alive in case you ever want to do something else, but like, please don't. Please just don't do anything else. If you're going to do more of this shit, do anything but this, please.
Was anybody else rooting for the cartel? Because I was. I'm like, oh, please don't let them just constantly get out of this, which they do.
And they do.
I'm like, you guys are so stupid. Shooting everybody else to bits, but somehow you can't get a clear shot on any of the Fireflies.
Well, and then they had him tied up and they didn't kill them.
Well, that's the problem with
Bond villains.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with Devil's Rejects. He leaves them in a house to burn. How idiotic is that?
Fucking shoot him, bro.
Yeah, execution style, and then set the house on fire.
Do you think that they would hesitate to kill you? They don't. That big motherfucker snaps his neck like that. He doesn't
say my name.
Yeah. He doesn't fucking hesitate. He just kills him. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. These again.
That's sloppy writing to me, where
I agree.
You can't figure out a way to get them out. Obviously, you're going to get them out of this somehow, but to do the Bond villain trick where I'm going to leave a door open for you.
Yeah.
By not witnessing me kill you and making sure of it by putting two in your head, then I get what's coming to me.
And now I'm just now realizing, because you said, didn't we already do this before? But we kind of did, because they're tied up in the same scenario somewhat that William Forsythe has them in. And who comes to save the day? Tiny. He unties them. Who comes to save the day here?
Literal Tiny.
A little person, who Baby has befriended. And she even says to him, you remind me of my brother, And so I guess he's supposed to be kind of the monster person in this, which is weird, because I don't see how being a little person makes you a monster. Tiny was a tall burn victim. He looked like a huge Freddy Krueger, and this guy is just a little person. And, they have their sweet moment eating beans together after smoking weed. And I'm like, it's kind of cute. I'll give it that. But he frees them, and then they don't do anything with him anymore. They kill him too, because Tiny died, but Tiny died by choice. you know, because Bill Moseley says, we'll come back for you. And Tiny has that moment of, well, no, you won't actually. So
Tiny's like, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking deal with this bullshit.
I'm done with this stuff.
But did Tiny die? Maybe he didn't, because these guys didn't die. Tiny's already been burned.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, yeah, it's the same scenario. So they're freed by, I don't remember the character's name, but, and there's a machete off. So a sword fight
with machetes, not featuring Danny Trejo, though he is in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, he's killed way early on.
Yeah, but again, it's a little funny that it's his son having someone fight the other guy who killed him with a machete, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, I know that early on you realize this movie is probably going to be a mess, but I was
nice
still
way of putting it.
I was still holding on though, watching it. I was like, I do want to see where this goes, because I know these characters, because I was there when the first two movies came out. I want to know what happens. It was the sword fight where I was like, this is dumb. And and I'm a fan, and this is dumb, and I don't know what we're doing. Baby was just out here taking everybody out with a bow and arrow, and now there's a sword fight?
Yeah.
If you had told me that when The Devil's Rejects came out, by the way, the next one, there's a sword fight and Baby is all of a sudden just an archer. Like,
makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Right.
I mean, really, like, again, like, that's the problem here with these movies is Rob Zombie has never understood his own tone, even though he has. Like, he knows the movie he wants to make. Clearly, he made The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
He made House of a Thousand Corpses. I would contend those are tonally more or less consistent with what they're going for. And then you get to this movie, it's like, did you have a fucking aneurysm in between now and the last time you made a fucking movie?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I Devil's Rejects, for all of its flaws, is the best of these three movies.
Because the characters they're realized.
They're fully realized in that movie. In this movie, it's like they just, like 10 years and they all just lost their fucking minds. The only one that still feels the same is Otis.
Yeah.
Baby feels like a completely different character altogether. Like, I'm not sure.
He's lost it.
Yeah. But
She's
like her losing it just feels like an excuse because Rob Zombie's wife is not a good actor.
She's everything that I thought Harley Quinn was supposed to be.
With none of the nuance.
Right. Yeah. Just psychotic and brutal, but no personality. And I guess that's the best way to go about it. If she can't act, you just tell them it's because there's no personality behind that psychotic, you know,
Manson lamps.
Yeah. So it's like, I guess, but you know, her seeing a creepy cat was weird.
Right.
I'm like, we're going into David Lynch territory here.
Yeah.
It's the lady in the radiator.
It reminded me a lot of the end of Halloween 2 and like all the bullshit he did in Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Love it. It's like, here we go. It's going to play that. He's going to play that song. He's going to do it. Do it, motherfucker. You did it a million times in Halloween 2.
I adore Dee Wallace, and I could not fucking stand her in this movie.
Yeah, that was, it's that. Oh boy. Yeah. And having Mary Warnoff, was she in this one or in Devil's Rejects? You know, be a victim. They steal her car and stab her. I think that's Devil's Rejects.
I think that's the last one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it's given these people whose movies you grew up watching, giving them a job, but it's so, in her case, it's just underutilized for Mary Warnoff. She's a victim. Like, okay, I guess hopefully they got decent paychecks for doing this, a day's work. But the Dee Wallace stuff, I was like, oh man, I don't like seeing her in this at all.
Yeah, like the licking of the lips and stuff. And I was like,
well, you don't like closeted lesbian prison
I
guards?
love lesbians, but it was just done in such a
so
weird
do I,
way.
but that's not what this is.
It was done in such a weird way, and like it made sense for Baby to be doing it because she was using her sexuality to manipulate a situation, and she would because she's crazy. But Dee Wallace playing a hateful lesbian was just
it's
weird.
Ilsa. She's supposed to be Ilsa. You know, it's taking these references and putting them through his filter. And I guess if you're on board with the way that stuff comes out of Rob Zombie, then you'll probably enjoy it. But yeah, it's not, you know, that it's that trope of the lesbian prison. She's not the warden, but still in those movies, in those women in prison movies, the head of the warden or the guards are always bull dyke lesbians who take advantage of the prisoners. But he puts his spin on it and it just becomes gross.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's movies are really just his music visually realized. Like the way his music makes me feel is the same way his movies make me feel. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's that like
sure.
his mind works the same audio as it does visually. Yeah. And like you were saying, Mark, like it's his interpretations of some things is like, whoo, dude, where are you going with this? Like this is...
He's flooded. His brain is absolutely just
pick one direction, dude, and go that way. Don't go
he can't.
8,000 things.
You know, it'd be cool if you were a lesbian, but you're also a bitch. But you're in love with a serial killer who you also hate. And also, can I just point out, her death was so anticlimactic. I know Baby was dying to kill her for all these years, and finally gets her hands on her, and that's all she gets is a chokeout.
Well, that's because they had to save all the style for that prolonged murder scene that's told in hyper quadratic reverse. I don't even know how you would describe that scene. The murdering of everyone at the house when they get back. It's played in like reverse, sort of. Because it like shows the end and then it starts going backwards from the end, playing it forward a little bit at a time. I didn't just make this shit up, guys.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember that.
I know I was high watching the movie, but
you'd have to be.
there was like where it shows the murder. It plays it like the first thing you see is that woman getting stabbed in front of the house, and then it starts walking it back until the final scene is him pulling up to the house with her in the car with him. So it's played in reverse. Huh. And it made like no sense to me. I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on? But that shit's so unnecessary and so brutal. And again, it's like, if you've ever wanted to know what it was like to be part of a fucking home invasion, like here's your chance. Yeah. Like, and that's the thing. Like for me, these movies, a lot of these like really intense scenes just strike at like, if you were to go listen to the Toolbox Murderers tapes, it's like listening to him really torture real people, where it's like, you know, the noise that this makes is, you know, it's like disgusting, just like the worst things human beings can do to each other captured on audio. It's like these movies have these scenes where it's like, this is the closest you'll ever want to get to seeing this in real life. Like nobody would want to see this actually happen to other people, but these movies are the closest you'll ever get to like seeing what it must be like to be in the room with a serial killer. And like in and of itself, that's kind of a success. I mean, that's the same thing with like Deranged, right, Mark? I mean, it's that same thing where it's like you want to look into the void and like without actually jumping into it, because jumping into it is like crime scene photos and shit.
Well, and that's what Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer does in a much different way, where you do really feel like, oh yeah,
I fucking hate that movie. Movie freaks me out and grosses me out to no end.
I was pretty bowled over by that. I mean, I owned it on videotape and watched it way too many times in my 20s. I watched it a few years ago and realized I watched it way too many times because I knew a lot of the dialogue still, but it hit me much differently.
Tom Towless is in fucking
and that's
House of a Thousand Corpses. Yep.
Surprised Michael Rooker doesn't make a appearance in any of these movies.
I kind of was as well, to be perfectly honest with you.
Probably has a little bit more sense now. He's making Disney money, so
right. He's like, I don't need this shit anymore. But I'm with you 100%. Like these movies, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, like they're all in that kind of. I'm good to not watch it again. Like I've seen Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer one time. I'm probably good. Like
I've seen it way more times than that. Because it's also a well-made.
It's a well-made movie.
It's a well-made movie and well acted and disturbingly well acted to where you don't feel like you're watching actors.
Right.
And it succeeds, I think, in doing whatever Rob Zombie thinks he's going for in these. I think that is the kind of movie that succeeds in being able to really disturb the audience without him going, "Fuck you, motherfucker."
That's why I won't
every
watch
5 minutes.
That's why I won't watch Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer again, because it's like it's too real.
Yeah.
It's like Rob Zombie's movies are, like I said, very close, but like that's like you couldn't convince me that that's not just real. Like it feels like I know Michael Rooker is an actor, but like he's gone. As far as I'm concerned, who you see on screen is not Michael Rooker. It is a character in a movie, but it is a movie that feels way too real for its own good.
And I think that, again, not to ascribe something to the filmmaker that he didn't intend, but I believe that's part of the point. Like this violent movies, putting a mirror up to what audiences are watching and crave and like, and the serial killer phenomenon, as well as teen slashers, and going, okay, and like that movie Funny Games, although that is too wink and nod about it, it's the same kind of idea where this is what you want, so what's the problem? What's the problem, Chris? This is what you want to watch, right?
Well, that's the. I mean, again, like that's the issue here. It's like, as someone who has a podcast, again, like I mentioned about true crime and serial killers and stuff, this is the kind of stuff I like. I don't want to watch it in a movie because it's too much.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch true crime stuff about it, anyways. Like I don't go searching. That's the thing. Like when I think about the true crime stuff, I read about it, but I don't go searching out the photos. And these movies are the same thing. Like I'm not actively searching out the toolbox murder tapes of the audio of women being like sodomized and tortured and then murdered. I don't search that out. And that's what these movies are an approximation of. It's like, again, without going and finding the real stuff, this is as close as it gets. It's like, look, don't look away. Don't look away. It won't let you look away. It's like Malcolm McDowell in Clockwork Orange, right? It's like you can't look away. That's the point.
Right. Can we all agree that this is Baby's movie?
Ugh, yeah, and that's the worst part about it.
It's probably why I like it the least of the three.
I think that's what I'm starting to realize is it's her movie, and Bill Moseley's taking a backseat, and Richard Brake is taking a backseat, and they're trying, but this movie's really selling Baby.
Yep.
Like they're trying really hard to make sure we remember constantly that Baby is extremely dangerous.
Hey, maybe the next one will just be her.
It's just Baby.
On her own. Can you imagine?
I mean, isn't she in every movie that he's made? Why give her a showcase when isn't Lords of Salem her movie? Isn't 31 her movie?
Yeah.
Dude, isn't The Munsters probably going to be her fucking movie? Like, dude.
When Andy came up with this idea, when we talked the last time, I think I mentioned that Lords of Salem is the one that I could see myself rewatching because it's a little bit distant from that overall grime of the Halloween movies and these movies, and has a plot that I can follow. And since it involves witchcraft and stuff like that goes into subgenres that I'm more interested in than a lot of the other stuff that he's done. I can't even remember for the life of me what 31 is about. I watched it when it came out on Shudder, and
it's not my favorite.
Is it clowns or something? Clowns in it?
But they're not scary because they're just screaming and cursing, and they have dildos.
Screaming means scary, Andy. Haven't you figured that out yet?
Wasn't that the whole thing in It, where it's just like loud noises? Like
that's my complaint about that.
Shit's not scary. Shit's not scary.
Slow, quiet, and those are the things that are scary to me. Slow and quiet things, not. And they do that up to a point in those It movies. And then they go, blah, that big giant woman in that house. It's like before that, when she's walking around naked, all creepy, it's like, fuck, what the fuck is going on?
But I like that noise, that
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's great. Just infect my movies with your shitty stings, please. Yeah.
But anyway,
I for the life of me can't understand why this movie exists, frankly, in a lot of ways.
It's for baby.
Yeah, but
That's it.
nobody puts baby in a corner.
but his wife has had 2 movies to herself in the last 4 movies that he's made. I just don't get it. And she was in Halloween too. Like, oh my God. Like, you somehow managed to fucking force fuck your wife into Halloween.
And the second one, she died.
She's even more in the second one than in the first one.
She's Angel Unicorn Lady.
Yeah. Love hurts. God, shut up.
I like the second one more than I like the first one, to be honest.
Whoa.
Because I really hate that young Michael Myers stuff in the first one.
Right. It's a prequel.
I think I might be on board with Mark on this one. I think I like the second one only a little bit more because it's just so fucking weird.
Well,
it's
and
just
I
like, Halloween, we don't even care anymore. Michael Myers doesn't even have to wear a mask. He has a giant beard. Like, whatever, who cares? And it's like, yeah, right, who cares?
I guess who cares?
I liked that it was the first part was her dream or whatever. I was like, oh.
That pissed me off.
See, and it pissed a lot of people off, and I was like, oh, that was interesting. Because we're not going to go to the hospital and do what the original Halloween 2 did. And I was like, I'm cool with that.
I just felt like I got ripped off.
I mean, I'm not going to go to bat for that film or anything, but of those 2 movies, I think I prefer that one. I haven't watched either of them.
Oh, you should, if you've ever wanted to see a Rob Zombie cartoon. I don't know if you're aware of that. He has an animated film called The Haunted World of El Super Bisto.
Yeah, I think Chris has it on his Plex. I haven't watched it.
That is a really long movie.
So are these.
Yeah, and I used to watch a Super Bisto with a friend of mine as it felt like we realized that the movie was bad. It's not a good movie, but it's so stupid that we were quoting it for like a whole summer. So it became our movie. But it's not a good movie, but it has all the Rob Zombie isms in it in animated form. And there he's unstoppable because it's a cartoon. You can do whatever visually you want to do. Mm-hmm. But no, I was wondering, is 3 from Hell does it take place on Halloween or something?
Day of the Dead.
Okay. Yo, that's right.
So yeah, around the same time. In 1980 something, 88, I guess.
88,
and
yeah.
Otis is sleeping with women that he's not killing. Baby is having knife contests with bar dudes
that she's not killing.
And Richard Brake is falling in love with a woman that he's not killing. Why do they care about people all of a sudden? Like,
it's almost like this isn't the same family of people that were living in a house with 1,000 corpses allegedly inside of it.
They don't want to kill Mexicans unless, that would have been racist. It's more racist that you won't kill the Mexicans. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're wearing a headdress.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Oy, yep. Another special. It's just for the poster.
It has to be, right?
Look, we all know that Rob Zombie has not had his true coming out party as a director yet. That will be The Munsters, his next film, which will be an instant classic, and we'll all love it. And that will probably be what happens because
non-horror.
It is horror though. But
but family friendly.
I know. I can't help but think like there is this weird possibility that The Munsters is really good.
It's going to be good.
I think it's going to be good, and we're all going to be really angry.
Because
I won't be angry if it's good.
I know. I'll be angry because I don't like the fact that I will like one of his movies enough to go to bat for it. When this is the other shit that he's been making.
I'm hoping that it's a good one because I would love to add, to my favorite movies to watch yearly around Halloween. I would like to add to my Elvira and Hocus Pocus and, movies like that. And if I can throw on top of Monster Squad, Rob Zombie's The Munsters, that'd be pretty cool if it's good. And if it's not good, well, then I don't know what I'm expecting from it. I have no idea what to expect from it.
Yeah,
Well,
it'll be interesting to see.
And
what the
again,
tone is, especially.
Yeah, and again, I mean, his wife is in it, which not only is she in it, she's given a rather large part.
Huge fucking part. That is a huge part.
It's one of the three. So
it's an extremely iconic character.
Yeah.
So that's bizarre. I honestly thought Danielle Harris would have done a great job.
I think anybody but his wife would do a good job, but maybe we'll be proven wrong. Maybe she's a great actress when it's not being asked to go, yeah.
cackle.
Who the fuck knows? So
I hope they throw on a fuck you motherfucker in there somewhere.
I was wondering where Bill Moseley is in the Munsters, because fucking Richard Brake is somehow in it. So
he's Bill Moseley's thing, isn't he?
Is he?
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. He could be. He's just Otis Driftwood, and he murders the Munsters family.
I would not be surprised if there were references in that as well. Like if Michael Myers is trick or treating or something.
There will be. You watch. It's Rob Zombie. So, so Mark, I want to give you a final chance here. What is your final thoughts on the Firefly trilogy? Question mark.
I would watch House of a Thousand Corpses sometime in the future when I'm laying on my deathbed with dementia and don't remember watching it.
I hope you watch anything else but that.
He's going to be sitting there like, this is weird.
Why am I watching this again?
I don't like this, honey. Turn it off.
You look over and there's Dr. Satan.
I'm having memories of watching this and talking about it on a radio program.
Internet radio show.
I mean, if you like them, you like them. And that's all good. And they're not for everybody.
It's true.
I mean, what can you say? He has his fans.
Right.
And I know that. I see them on my Twitter feed.
I see you.
And I do not fault people for their choice in films. It doesn't work. I shouldn't say that because that's unfair to the people making movies. I appreciate different things from horror movies than these supply. So I'm not a fan of them.
What about you, Andy?
About Three from Hell?
Or just all three of them. If your final thoughts as we bring this mega-sized episode to a close.
Yeah. Well, Three from Hell wants to be Devil's Rejects so badly, and Devil's Rejects is the best of the three, in my opinion. I still enjoy Thousand Corpses, but because it stands so much by itself, tone-wise, it's Devil's Rejects for me. Three from Hell, I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, but I've seen it about 3 times because I had to process. After the first time, I'm not really sure what I watched. So I had to watch it again. And Devil's Rejects is better.
The worst thing you can say about Three from Hell is it almost doesn't even feel like it was directed by Rob Zombie. It feels like someone else saw Devil's Rejects and was like, "Can I do a movie with your characters?" He was like, Sure. Yeah. That's how bad Three from Hell is. That's how tonally weird it is, even with the characters that Rob Zombie again, Rob Zombie wrote and directed the movie, so he has no reason to do what he did other than because he wanted to do it. So Three from Hell is the worst of the three by a country mile. And that's because it doesn't even feel like the first one, and it really doesn't feel like the second one. I agree with you. Of the three that I would rewatch, I think the first one would be the one I would rewatch just based on the fact that it's an hour and 19 minutes. But I like the second one the most because it succeeds in what it's trying to do the most of the three. I'm not even sure what the third movie is attempting to do, to be perfectly honest with you, but it fails at being even a cohesive story.
There's no vision.
No.
It has no direction. It doesn't know where it's
Why
going.
it's an action movie at the end of the movie is beyond me, because there's been no action anything in any of these movies. And those three people that they would try to pass off as action heroes, no.
Yeah.
Just not the way that they're doing it. And I don't know. I don't see those characters as anti-heroes, and the way that they tried to do it in 3 to make them anti-heroes is heavy-handed and fails spectacularly. Yeah. So, yeah. So what a bummer, but not surprising, I guess. I mean, like you said, Mark, I didn't dislike these as much as I thought I was going to, but I still think I disliked them.
They're frustrating because you know what they could be. Yeah. I know what they could be.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, because, if I find myself watching a movie and going, oh, man, it would have been great if you had just done this, or if that part wasn't there, or that's a weird line, then the movie doesn't feel realized. Whereas The Devil's Rejects feels there was a vision there and he met that goal. So that's why that movie feels like a solid film, even if it's got, its faults. But 3 from Hell just feels like, let's try to do Devil's Rejects, one up it, I guess, on the gore. But I don't really know what to write about. So let's just say you guys break baby out of prison and fight cartel members. I don't fucking know.
Rob Zombie just threw his hands up and said, I don't know. We'll just walk around and say things. As good an option as any. So until the next time the three of us talk about who knows what, where can people find you, Mr. Begley?
You can find me at wakeupheavy.com or on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Letterboxd at Wake Up Heavy. And my show should be streaming on most podcast platforms. If it's not, well, let me know and I'll try to get it on there.
What about you, Mr. Gnosis? Where can people find you if they were looking for you?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It's all Andy Gnosis. That's Gnosis.
And as for me, cstachiw.com, cstachiw.com. That's my link tree. Go there for the things that I work on, which are a lot and probably growing, frankly. But that's where all my stuff is. So that's where you would go to find that stuff. As for this show, Kulturecast.com, patreon.com/Kulturecast. That's where you can go to support the show, both listening and monetarily, if that's what you're into. If not, just listen. That works too. Mark and Andy, thank you so much for joining me.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Oh my God, I was going to do that. I was going to do that too.
You guys.
Damn you.
You guys, you got your final lick in. But boy, I'm glad we did this episode. It took a lot of rescheduling. But yeah. I'm glad that we're finally at the end of it. Because, yeah, those movies, I can put them in the vault and...
Yeah, lock it.
I'm
going to put it in my Dr. Sleep container and lock it away.
I'm going to put it in my Serbian film container and lock it away.
Or don't they have that in Dreamcatcher 2? Something about like a library.
It's a Stephen King joint, so probably.
Yeah.
And as always, we'll catch you on the next episode.